Sociocognitive and Constructivist Views of Learning. Good day everyone, I am Paul Ryan, a 4th year BS Psychology major of MSU-IIT. Today we will talk about the sociocognitive views of how we learn. We have two goals for this educational video. First is to define the sociocognitive and constructive views of learning. Second is to understand how students' beliefs and expectations affects learning and behavior. We'll also talk about social learning, Bandura's social cognitive theory of learning and his Bobodal experiment. Second is the reciprocal causation model and its three components: environmental, behavior, and personal components, and self-efficacy and outcome expectancy. Third is how does sociocognitive learning theory compares to other learning theories. A comparison of behaviorism, cognitive, and sociocognitive use of learning. So let's start with what is the sociocognitive use of how we learn. According to behaviorism and cognitive theories, learning is the result of the individual's direct interactions with the environment. While the sociocognitive theory, they define learning as a result of observing others and observing the consequences of the behavior of others. So let's say, for example, the view of behavioral and cognitive, we learn by touching or experiencing the given stimuli or the situation. While in the view of social cognitive theory, we learn all of this by just simply observing. So, go to social learning. What is social learning? Social learning occurs when people learn from observing the behavior of others. It also occurs when observing the environmental outcomes of the behavior of others. So let's say a child is watching with his brother WWE. So after a few hours, when the child is alone with Mr. Teddy, his toy, he began slamming it, punching it, kicking it, and dissecting it. Poor Mr. Teddy. Yes, that is social learning theory or social learning. It is learning by observing. So when we talk about social cognitive theory, it's a must that we must also talk about Dr. Albert Bandura and his Bobodal experiment. Then, Albert Bandura and his Bobodal experiment. One of the pioneer researches in social learning in Albert Bandura. Bandura examined how children learn through observation. In his classic study, Bandura showed a group of children a film in which an adult was highly aggressive with an inflatable toy called the Bobodal. You may have guessed that children who have observed how aggressive adult was rewarded for displaying aggressive behavior were more likely to display aggressiveness towards the doll than the other children. In addition, you may have guessed that children who observed how aggressive adult was punished for observing aggressive behavior were less likely to develop aggressiveness towards the doll than the other children. The mere observation of an adult attacking the doll increased the likelihood of children attacking the doll when given the opportunity to interact with the doll afterward. Based on his research, Bandura concluded that much of what humans learn occurs in social context by observing and imitating others. So again, according to the social cognitive theory of Bandura, humans learn occurs social context by observing and imitating others. To the reciprocal causation model. It is the second tenet of Bandura's social cognitive theory. It is also the relationship of the student's environment, personal beliefs, and behavior. So now let's move on to the three components. First, the environmental component. which includes the social stimuli from others such as parents, friends, and peers, and your significant others. Second is the personal component. It is the belief and attitude that can potentially affect learning, including about one's belief, one's self-belief. Third is the behavioral component, which is the responses made in any given situation. Example, emotional. You became happy, you became sad, you became proud. Second, physical. Punching, running, or the increase of your learning habits. So let's proceed to self-efficacy and outcome expectancy. First, self-efficacy. It is the belief about one's capability to perform or achieve a certain goal. Second is outcome expectancy. It is the belief in positive relationship between performance and its outcome. Move on to how the social cognitive theory differs or compares to other learning theories. So social cognitive theory uses reinforcement and punishment, which is rooted to behaviorism. Social cognitive theory uses the concept of punishment and reinforcement to explain behavior, which is rooted to behaviorism. Social cognitive theory also states that learning as the relatively enduring change in the mental structures of learning that creates the potential to demonstrate behaviors, which is the same with cognitive theory. It is true that social cognitive theory is similar in some ways with cognitive and behaviorism. Proceed to what are the differences of behaviorism and the other learning theory, especially cognitive and behaviorism. This is a table showing the comparison of the three learning theories: the social cognitive theory, behaviorism, and learning cognitive theory. So I want you to pause the video and examine the table and see the differences, the similarities of the different learning theories. So that ends my video, educational video. I hope you learned, and I want to thank you for watching again. Bye bye.